The tulip, a flower of great variety, comes in over 120 different colorful types. The story of this delicate plant starts far away from the Netherlands. It has its origins in Central Asia. Before the Dutch, it was the Turks who had known to appreciate its beauty. The Turks were great lovers of plants. Besides the big flower bazaar, there were over 300 florists located in Istanbul. But the tulip had a particular great value. The Sultan himself had many yards filled with thousands of tulip bulbs. Some types were so rare that even he could only own a few. There was a special laboratory located in the palace for breeding new types and colors. The name tulip comes from the Turkish word tulbent, the fabric turbans are made of. So when the Ottoman army assembled, it transformed into a vast bed of tulips. The Europeans first witnessed its beauty in the late 15th century when their merchants made the journey to Istanbul and returned home with exotic goods, including the bulbs. It was Carolus Clusius, the most famous botanist of his time, who started breeding different types and officially planted the tulip for the very first time in 1580 in the Netherlands. The 16th century was called the tulip mania period. At that time, it was common among the elite to collect tulips as a hobby. It started with small gambling games, but in time, the prices rose more and more. The value depended on the type, color, and size of the bulbs. A white tulip with red flames, the so-called Semper Augustus, was the most valuable tulip in history due to how rare it was. Its uniqueness in its colors was actually caused by a previously unknown mosaic virus. Insane prices were demanded for this flower at the peak of tulip mania. One would pay 1,300 gulden, which was more than the price of the most expensive house in Amsterdam. The tulip madness was spreading all over the country. People who couldn't pay for the bulbs were mortgaging their houses. Some single bulbs would change hands 10 times a day. However, in February 1637, the tulip bulb contract prices collapsed abruptly, and the trade of tulips ground to a halt. For the first time, buyers refused to show up at routine bulb auctions. Only sellers remained, and the market collapsed. The tulip had caused the very first speculative economic bubble in history.